afternoon, good morning, good evening, everybody. It is Saturday, March 2nd, and you know what that means. It is time for the High Risk Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, always acknowledging the tribal chief by keeping my eye on that Brahma board. It's me, Jeremy Pierce. Don't forget to check out the socials, Charismatic Creations on Facebook and YouTube, Charismatic_Creations52 on Instagram, and of course, the 215 on Twitter. The website will be live probably by Monday, but for today's show, AEW Revolution is tomorrow, so we are doing our previews, we are doing our prediction. It is Sting's final match, so this is a kind of a Sting-centric AEW episode, but for now, you know what's next, so just go on and hit my music. All right, with this being Sting's final in-ring appearance, well, I think today's list is my five favorite and best moments from Sting's AEW tenure. We're gonna start with number 5, his debut. Sting debut. Ready for this? During the pandemic. Yes, all things considered, the pandemic gave us a lot of good stuff from WWE, from AEW, from TNA. And Sting's debut really happened out of the blue. There was no hints at it. There was no allusion to Sting debuting. It was their annual Winter is Coming themed episode. And there was just something happening. Team Taz was feuding with, I believe, the Nightmare Factory. So Team Taz was beating down on Arn Anderson, Darby Allin, Dustin Rhodes, and Cody. And then Sting arrived, and everybody was shocked. And it helped that there were fans in the arena. This was just absolutely beautiful. Number 4, Sting's no-selling. Some people may not like this, but the stuff Sting did in his AEW tenure were just great, and his multiple no-sells, absolutely beautiful, from the chair to the back to getting hit with the kendo stick. But my favorite happened on an episode of Dynamite where Sting got power bombed through a table and just got back up. It was beautiful. Number 3, his reunion with Tony Schiavone, going all the way back to their days in WCW. These two are very good friends, and the enhancement of Tony Schiavone going, "It's Sting!" each and every week is just a thing of beauty. It's always great to see past legends relive their glory days when it's done right. It's like when Jim Ross calls Stone Cold Steve Austin. Tony Schiavone, for me, is Sting's quintessential commentator. Just beautiful. Number 2, his first match back being that cinematic match. Remember I said they were going against Team Taz, so Sting and Darby Allin teamed up to take on Ricky Starks and Brian Cage in a cinematic match, street fight, and it worked. The pandemic gave us a lot of cinematic matches from WWE's Taker's Last Ride to TNA. TNA did something, I forget which one it was. I think it had to do with Underrealm, to Sting and Darby taking on Team Taz. You could clearly see Sting having a great time and working with these 2 uppercomers in Darby and Ricky, and Brian Cage has already been in the business for a good minute. It was just good. It got more eyes on Team Taz, and it showed that Sting still had a lot left in the tank. But number 1, you know what number 1 is: the balcony dive. The balcony dive. Revolution 2022 was a fun event, and almost all of Sting's matches have been some form of tornado, falls count anywhere, street fight. It just helps us why he's still undefeated. But on Revolution 2022, Sting teamed up with Darby Allin and Sammy Guevara to take on Matt Hardy, Andrade, and Isaiah Cassidy. I don't know why Hardy and Andrade and Isaiah Cassidy were teaming up. Don't know why, but a big thing happened during this match. Sting climbed on top of the balcony, on top of one of the bombs, and just dove off the balcony through some tables. I believe it was on Andrade. Just a thing of beauty. Sting was just doing crazy stuff during his AEW tenure, and this was probably the top wildest thing he had did. We'll be right back. The spotlight for sure today is on Darby Allin, Sting's longtime, for AEW tenure, tag team partner, has one final match with his mentor. And you have to remember this. You have to know this. Sting didn't approach Darby. Darby didn't approach Sting. It was Tony Khan that put them two together. And I understand why. It just works. One of the many things that AEW has done extremely well is using legends, whether it's Taz, Jericho, Sting, the memory of Owen Hart. Like, there aren't really many missteps they have made with legends, and pairing Sting with Darby Allin has just worked. They both learned from each other. Sting has learned the business from a new pair of eyes from Darby, and Darby has learned from Sting that less is more. You can tell stories about using more of your emotion, and Darby has gotten so much better with his promo skills. Darby Allin and Sting are the current tag team champions, and they're defending the championships against the Young Bucks. Win or lose, no one is hurt here. Darby is going to come out of this essentially as a main eventer, and he's already been a main eventer, but he comes out of this now as a surefire world title contender. And the dream is that whenever Darby gets that world championship match and he wins, Sting's not there, but Darby, awash in emotion, looks up, and you see Sting in the rafters staring down at him, and then just disappears into the blackness. That's beautiful. Darby Allin is going to help make Sting look like $1 million more than he already is. Same with the Young Bucks. This is going to be great. Darby Allin has benefited so greatly from having a mentor like Sting, because Sting's one of those legends that gets the business and understand what needs to do, and that it's not all about them. They don't need to get themselves over. You're already over. You're a legend. But Sting and Darby Allin are going to have a blast tomorrow night. They are going to put on a show, and I am very, very curious to see where Darby Allin goes from here. We'll be right back. All right. AEW Revolution, one of their annual events, and it now looks like AEW will be getting more events this year, like 8 or 9 will round out the total. But Revolution has been one of their marquee events, one of their quote-unquote original 4, along with Full Gear, Double or Nothing, and All Out, because All In is the one in London. But we know what's going down on Revolution this year. But first things first, we have to take a look at the match card from last year. What went down? How was the show? So let us dive into it, shall we? AEW Revolution 2023. All right, so we had 0 Hour, we had only one match on 0 Hour last year. We had a 6-man tag match of Mark Briscoe and the Lucha Brothers teaming up to take on Daivari and the Varsity Athletes. It was fine. It was fine. And then we get to the main card, which, well, was really good. So the first match was Ricky Starks defeating Chris Jericho. We had a final burial match, which is essentially a buried alive match. Jack Perry defeating Christian Cage. We had an AEW World Trios title match as the House of Black defeated the Elite to win the AEW Trios Championships. We had a Women's World Championship match as Jamie Hayter defeated Saraya. We had a Texas Death match. Hangman Page defeated Jon Moxley. The TNT title match, Wardlow winning the championship from Samoa Joe. We had a Fatal 4-Way Tag Team title match with the Guns defeating the Acclaimed, Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett, and Danhausen and Orange Cassidy. Who remembers that match, and the Guns as tag team champions? And the main event was the classic 60-minute Iron Man match between MJF and Bryan Danielson for the AEW World Championship. It was just a banger of a card. What can I tell you? These dudes know what they are doing. But let's get into the 2024 card. So we have one match on 0 Hour. This was announced yesterday. It will be Kris Statlander and Willow Nightingale teaming up to take on Skye Blue and Julia Hart. Now, the main complaint has been, why is this match not on the main card? But I get why it's not on the main card. For a few reasons, and it's okay. If this is the only match on the pre-show, I am perfectly fine with that. I love all of these women, especially Willow and Kris and Skye. And I think this is a tag match because Julia is still hurt, so she can be protected somewhat in this match. Skye is pretty much going to be doing a lot of the heavy lifting, but this is going to be a good match. It's a good little storyline. I'm waiting for the inevitable moment when Julia's finally healed and she can start defending the TBS championship again, either against Kris, who never got a rematch, or against Willow Nightingale. But with, I believe it's 1-1 here, Skye defeated Kris, but Willow defeated Skye. Willow defeated Skye first, and Skye defeated Kris. So essentially 1-1 in this series. I'm going to take the faces to win for now. Kris and Willow have just been a pleasure together, and to continue the storyline of whatever the hell is going on with Stokely Hathaway. On to the main card. I don't know the match order, so we're going to start with the All-Star Scramble match. This was originally supposed to be Meat Madness, which was just all the horses, and a couple of people are hurt, which hurts, which sucks. So we got this championship, we got this All-Star Scramble match. So we have Chris Jericho, Powerhouse Hobbs, Wardlow, Lance Archer, Hook, Dante Martin, Brian Cage, and Magnus from CM. Dante Martin's going to qualify on Collision tonight. For those of you that don't know what a scramble match is, it's a combination of a gauntlet match and an Iron Man match. So essentially, two people are going to start in the ring, and then at a certain time interval, another person is going to enter the ring, kind of like either a Royal Rumble or a gauntlet. And once everybody's there, there's going to be a set time for the match to be over, and whoever has the most falls, whether that be pinfall or submission, will come out the winner of this match. And for me, there are only 3 people in this match that have a shot at winning: Hobbs, Wardlow, Hook. Jericho is in here to take out Hobbs. Brian Cage is in here to take out Hook. Magnus and Dante Martin are here just to do the high flying stuff. So that leaves Wardlow and Lance Archer. Lance Archer is just here to be here. I really think Wardlow's winning this match after that amazing promo he cut 2 weeks ago. I expect him to win this match, and we can get some big, meaty men slapping man It's going to be a fun match. I think this is one of the reasons why the Kris Willow tag match is on the pre-show, is just because this is going to get some time. There's going to be a couple matches here that get time, like 15 to 20 minutes, and this is definitely going to be one of them. So take Wardlow to win the All-Star Scramble. Next up, we have FTR versus the Blackpool Combat Club. This all started because, well, Moxley said step up or get stepped on, and stepped over, and FTR stepped up to the plate, and, you know, as the best tag team on the planet, they don't shy away from a fight. And of course, the Blackpool Combat Club do not shy away from a fight. The first match, I believe, with them went to a draw. Mox defeated Dax, because Cash never wrestles singles matches, but Dax usually does all of the singles matches when they have to do so. And I think, and I'm almost sure FTR and Eddie Kingston lost the 6-man tag. So it was pretty much fairly even here. This is going to be a really, really good tag match. But even though the BCC are just really good together, FTR is just the tag team, and there will clearly be a definitive winner here. You're going to see some good old tag team maneuvers. You're going to see some good old ring psychology. You're just going to see exquisite tag team wrestling in this match, and a very good contrasting of styles. You got the brawler fighters of the BCC and the more old school technical prowess of FTR, who can also brawl with the best of them. But this is going to be a good tag team match. Take FTR to win here, and I don't think this will be the end of the feud, but it will end up with these two teams showing respect to each other. I'm really liking this here. Next up, I think this will be the match of the night, just like a lot of people thinks this will be the match of the night. Will Ospreay versus Konosuke Takeshita, battle of the Don Callis family, and this match is going to be absolutely amazing. We know what Will Ospreay brings to the ring. We know who he is, and finally, y'all know Takeshita, the alpha. Storyline purposes for the match it's supposed to be friendly competition between the family, but I do not think Will Ospreay is long for the Don Callis family, especially with Mark Davis being injured and Kyle Fletcher either being out or still having his visa issues. We are going to get the return of the United Empire at some point, and Ospreay, he's just going to be a face in AEW for at least the beginning of his career, and then we can get Hobbs, we can get Takeshita, and probably someone else to join the Don Callis family. But this is going to be just a banger of a match. 25 minutes. These dudes they're just going to beat the holy hell out of each other. It's going to look so beautiful. But take Ospreay to win this match. He's definitely not losing his first match as an official member of the AEW. Right, so next up, we have Eddie Kingston defending the Continental Crown against Bryan Danielson. For those of you that don't know, the Continental Crown is a combination of the Continental Crown Championship from the Continental Classic, the Ring of Honor World Championship, and the New Japan Strong Openweight Championship. The thing here is, I get why the gold is on the line. Eddie Kingston is a fighting champion, but this is all about respect, and not Eddie not respecting Danielson. He has stated time and again he's always respected Danielson. He considers Danielson one of the greatest, if not the greatest wrestler on the planet, probably of all time. It's about Danielson disrespecting Eddie time and again, crapping on his heroes, stealing the spotlight from other people, and Eddie catches a lot of flack from a lot of the ignorant portion of the wrestling community, but he's a very good wrestler, and the fans are very, very, very much behind him. We all know Bryan Danielson. He's the GOAT. And he likes to go back and forth playing this heel and playing this face role. But this is going to be a good match. Bryan Danielson believes he's better than Eddie Kingston. He probably is better than Eddie Kingston. He cannot take losing to Eddie Kingston in the Continental Classic. He just can't. He just can't. And he's going on his way to try to humiliate Eddie at every opportunity. Eddie has defended this, and if Danielson loses, he has to shake Eddie Kingston's hand. Bryan Danielson is losing this, because anytime there's stipulation that's been on the line, Eddie has usually won, especially that CM Punk match, and he should have won that CM Punk match. Danielson's got to respect Eddie. Danielson respects the business, but this is going to be a good match. I could be wrong on this, but take Eddie Kingston to win. And next up, we have Timeless Toni Storm defending the AEW Women's World Championship against Deonna Purrazzo. This is another match which is just going to be good. These are two of the best women's wrestlers on the planet. And the story is they have history together. They have been friends. They have been roommates. And Deonna wants to know when, where, and how Toni Storm went crazy. I love the production, what they've been doing for Toni Storm, the black and white, the beautifulness of it all. This is just going to be. This might be the most technical match on the card. Here's the thing. Anytime a new woman debuts in AEW, they usually get a championship match and they lose, whether it's a TBS championship or the women's championship. And as much as I love Deonna, she's losing here. I would be very, very shocked if Deonna Purrazzo won this match, because there's a certain boss debuting in about 3 weeks. Toni Storm has done wonders for the division, and I just want to make sure Deonna Purrazzo is not left by the way. So, I don't want to see Deonna in Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor already has enough. This is going to be a good match, but take Timeless Toni Storm to win here, whether that be by cheating, using Mariah May and Luther, because Deonna Purrazzo doesn't have anybody here, but take Timeless Toni Storm to win. Next up, this is another match on the card where the winner is very, very obvious. Orange Cassidy defending the International Championship against Roderick Strong. Roderick Strong's winning this match. They have to legitimize the Undisputed Kingdom, and we've seen Orange Cassidy's story with the International Championship. This is the second time with the title. You can give that up. Now, we've got to start legitimizing the Undisputed Kingdom. That's why Wardlow is winning. That's why Roderick Strong is going to win this match. And it's going to be a great match, because Orange Cassidy just has great matches, and Roderick Strong is one of the best just in-ring tacticians we have. There's going to be some intrigue. There's going to be a point where you think Roddy's going to lose and Orange Cassidy has the match win, but all of their friends will be there to help. Orange Cassidy's going to have Trent. He's going to have Rocky Romero. Roderick Strong is going to have Taven and Bennett with him. But Roderick Strong is walking out of here as your new international champion. Now, this match right here, this next one, this is the one match where I think there's a toss-up. It's Christian Cage defending the TNT Championship against one Daniel Garcia. Now, how do we get here? Daniel Garcia has been climbing the rankings, winning matches, and so has Adam Copeland been doing the Cope Open. And they had a match on Dynamite where the winner gets to face Christian Cage. Match ended in a no contest, and the Patriarchy took out Copeland, which left Garcia. So Garcia gets the title match. And you know what Christian does. You got a dead parent? I am using it to my advantage. And that's exactly what he did here, bringing up Daniel Garcia's dead mother. Yeah. This is going to be good. This might be the sleeper match of the card, actually, just because Dan Garcia has gotten super over coming out of the Continental Classic. And Christian Cage is in his, I believe, third reign as TNT champion. Which is weird to say. I'm living in a world where Christian and Billy Gunn are champions. But I digress. This is going to be good. Dan Garcia is definitely going to have Matt Menard with him. I don't know if Parker's going to be there. Even though he got taken out by Zach Knight on Rampage. But Christian Cage is definitely going to have Mama Wayne with him, Nick Wayne with him, and Kill Switch. I think that's going to be too much for Dan Garcia to overcome. So take Christian Cage to retain. Here, next up, we have Samoa Joe defending the AEW World Championship against Swerve Strickland and Hangman Page. This is Joe's second defense of the championship, and there's a lot of moving parts here. You know what I mean? Joe's your champion. That's the only thing on the line for him. Swerve believes it's his destiny to be champion, and Hangman wants to be champion again, but he also doesn't want Swerve to be champion. And I think that's what ultimately was going to cost Hangman the match. His hatred for Swerve. Swerve has beaten him multiple times. Swerve does not need to worry about Hangman. Joe's here to just kick ass and leave as the champion. And I think this is going to happen. I think Joe's going to have a nice little reign, but I do believe before we get to All In, Swerve will be champion. I do believe the main event of All In is going to be Swerve versus Will Ospreay. This is going to be a good match. They're going to beat the holy hell out of each other. There's going to be some crazy spots. You're definitely going to hear a holy shit chant. And you're going to see in this match why the WWE screwed up in not giving Samoa Joe a world title reign. Samoa Joe should have been a world champion on the main roster at some point for at least a good 4 or 5 month reign. And Joe is doing masterful work. Swerve is doing masterful work. And even Hangman is doing masterful work as just a douche who hates Swerve. This is going to be good, but take Samoa Joe walking out as your world champion. But it's not over between these three. And in our main event, which has been announced, Sting and Darby Allin will be defending the AEW World Tag Team Championships in a tornado tag match against the Young Bucks. Now, the Young Bucks are doing some absolutely beautiful, pristine work as the EVPs. I'm sorry, Matthew and Nicholas. And even though Sting and Darby Allin are the champions, this is a one and done. Sting has the best record in AEW. He is undefeated. And it could be great for Sting to go out on top, but then it leaves Darby Allin without a tag team partner. But seeing how this is Sting's final match, the only logical outcome is the Young Bucks walking away as your tag team champions. The Young Bucks are doing some really interesting work, and I'm loving everything that they've got going on here. And I know a lot of us are upset that Sting's final match is not against Darby Allin, but Sting has said time and again he was never going to do that to Darby. He was never, ever going to do that to Darby. And a lot of Sting's matches in AEW have been some form of a tornado tag, some form of a stipulation match, and that's what we're going to get here. So Sting can show up and show out. I expect cameos out the wazoo. I expect Ric Flair to show up. I expect, Arn Anderson to show up. This is going to be crazy, and you're going to leave, even though Sting is going to lose, because Sting is definitely going to lose this match, you are going to leave happy. The Young Bucks are going to get their time to shine. They're going to leave the champions, and then they're going to leave so Sting and Darby Allin can take in the adulation of the fans. Because as much as you hate them, the Young Bucks understand this business, and they know this business. This is going to be such a fun match. It is. It really, really is, folks. So we're going to say goodbye to a legend. We're going to say goodbye to the icon. and we're going to see the rise of the EVPs. We're going to see the rise of Darby Allin to a new level, and we're going to leave this pay-per-view, we're going to leave this event extremely, extremely happy. So, the winners, one more time, and trust me, there will probably be at least another match or two added to 0 Hour, because that's just what Tony Khan does. But what we have scheduled from 0 Hour, take Kris, Statlander, Willow, Nightingale to win. From the main card, take Wardlow to win the Scramble, FTR to defeat the Blackpool Combat Club, Will Ospreay to defeat Takeshita at Kingston, to defeat Bryan Danielson, retaining the Continental Crown. Take Timeless Tony Storm, defeating Deonna Purrazzo to retain the Women's Championship. Take Roderick Strong to defeat Orange Cassidy to win the International Championship. Christian Cage defeating Dan Garcia to retain the TNT Championship. Samoa Joe defeating Swerve and Hangman to retain the World Championship. And the Young Bucks to defeat Sting and Darby Allin to become your new AEW Tag Team Champions. But that is our show. Thank you for listening. Thank you all for watching. I gotta go play me some Star Wars, because Star Wars Unlimited is a great game. Next week, in addition to the Revolution preview, we have What Just Happened coming on Monday. On Tuesday, we're going to talk about the 2K24 ratings, because I have some thoughts, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be another expose. We got Flashback Friday this Friday, and then this Saturday we have the Women of WrestleMania. It is Women's History Month, so we're going to try to do some things looking at the women in professional wrestling this month. I'm going to come up with some other things. Don't forget, we get the High Wrestling Podcast every single Saturday, the High Wrestling Recap every single Sunday. Of course, Wrestling Reddit content every Thursday. We got a couple lists coming up this month, but that's our show. Don't forget to check out the socials. Charismatic Creations on Facebook and YouTube. Charismatic_Creations52 on Instagram. The 215 on Twitter. We got Patreon. Website is going live this week soon. And as always, Isla Dawn, Willow Nightingale, Kris Statlander, Anna J, Bailey, and Gigi Dolan. Holla at your boy.